North to south, coast to coast. This is the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Telephone number is 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. Yeah, I was talking, I got to the end of that hour and I was, just wrapping up the hour and so on and so forth. And like two or three people that were kind of half listening thought I was signing off for the day. Make no mistake, I have signed off after 2 hours before, and much to the ridicule of our executive producer, Phil Brown. But I did not do that then. I didn't, right? Yeah. I did not do that then. Just relax. One more hour of the Wells Report. We got lots more to go. I mean, how could we possibly end a broadcast day without talking about the political stylings of the squad? Will no one rid me of these women? Sorry. Oh, God, these people. Ilhan Omar. By the way, there's a meme out there that has Ilhan Omar, instead of wearing her normal head covering, wearing a paper wasp nest. It's kind of humorous. Anyway, Ilhan Omar has made the argument that Americans should be, quote, more fearful of white men. Oh, there's no racism there, is there? Wow. She was taking part in an interview with journalist Mehdi Hassan on Al Jazeera. Hassan observed that conservatives would argue that Islamophobia is a product of legitimate fear in the wake of terror attacks. Hassan said, "What would you say to them?" "I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country. I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country from the redundancy of repetition department. I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe inside this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men." Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that somebody would say something like that in public? Seriously. You know, what if somebody who was white was saying that about somebody who was not? That would be out and out, bold-faced racism, would it not? The answer, of course, is yes. That's exactly what it would be. Why isn't she being called out for the virulent, awful racist she is? Why is that? This is not the first time Ilhan Omar has made controversial remarks regarding terrorism. She once referred to the 9/11 attacks as some people doing some things. What a dope. She's also come under fire for anti-Semitic comments. And the reason that she keeps getting away with those is because they don't call anti-Semitism what it actually is. Virulent, corrosive, rabid, anti-Jewish bigotry. In February, Omar said she wanted to talk about the political influence in this country that says it's okay for people to push allegiance to a foreign country. That foreign country, of course, being Israel. House Democrat leaders scrambled to write and pass a resolution condemning various forms of hatred in the wake of her remarks, instead of actually creating a congressional censure against a virulent bigot. Just goes to show you, you're only a bigot if your bigotry disagrees with Democrat Party policy. Omar had previously drawn scrutiny for separate remarks. She apologized in early February for an anti-Semitic tweet in which she alleged AIPAC pays politicians to be pro-Israel. She also acknowledged a tweet in which she accused Israel of hypnotizing the world and performing evil acts. Yeah, she acknowledged that statement was unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Good heavens to Betsy. Seriously? Man. There's more. This from the New York Times. Throughout history, demagogues have used state power to target minority communities and political enemies, often culminating in state violence. Today, we face that threat in our own country, where the President of the United States is using the influence of our highest office to mount racist attacks on communities across the land. In recent weeks, he's lashed out unprompted against 4 freshman Democrats in the House of Representatives: Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, and me from Minnesota. Last week, President Trump watched the crowd at one of his rallies chant, "Send her back," aimed at me and my family. I was reminded of times when such fear-mongering was allowed to flourish. I also couldn't help but remember the horrors of the civil war in Somalia that my family and I escaped, the America we expected to find, and the one we actually experience. The one that you routinely criticize unendingly. The one that you want to change into a mess just like Somalia. Throughout history, demagogues have used state powers to target minority communities and political enemies. Let's change that to something that's a bit more appropriate and just a bit more accurate, shall we? Throughout history, socialists have used state power to target minority communities and political enemies, often culminating in state violence. Today, we face that threat in our own country, where the President of the United States is using the influence of our highest office to mount racist attacks on communities across the land. No, he's not. The only person committing racist attacks on communities across the land is you and your ilk. I am going to look forward to the end of your political career and, of course, the hopeful moment where you finally say something that is so over the line and so stupid that you blow your credibility to the point where nobody asks you anything ever again. Representative Rashida Tlaib of Michigan has called for a federal minimum wage of $20 per hour at an event in Detroit on Sunday night. Conservatives immediately began mocking her and threatening to force mainstream Democrats, that's force mainline Democrats. I was trying to say mainline and Democrats. It doesn't work. Anyway, she's threatening to force mainline Democrats in the 2020 presidential race to address the issue in coming debates. Tlaib made the comment during remarks at the Restaurant Opportunity Center of Michigan and labor rights group One Fair Wage, and were recorded by Conservative Political Action Committee member American Rising. The Democrat-controlled House of Representatives passed a $15 federal minimum wage bill last week. It has little chance of passing the GOP-controlled Senate. Tlaib, referring to the federal minimum wage for those workers, said that tipped employees make $2.13 an hour federally. Think about that for 1 minute. People cannot live on those kinds of wages, and I can't allow people to be living off tips, relying on tips for wages. It's just not enough to support our families. By the way, when we started it should have been $15. She said at the event titled Server for an Hour. Now I think it should be $20. Make sure America Rising hears that. It should be $20 an hour, $18 to $20 an hour at this point. They say all of this is going to raise the cost, but I can tell you milk has gone up, eggs have gone up, everything has gone up. The cost of a lot of things that we need has gone up already. Oh my. Let's see, where do we start here? First of all, the reason that the hourly rate of people in tipped jobs is $2.13 an hour is because they make far greater money than that because of their tips. tips are very lucrative. And the United States government, by the way, reduced the minimum wage for restaurant workers and other people who rely on tipped income for the sake of them making such money with tips. I'm telling you, you have to be the world's worst food server to get a tip of less than 10%. When you got a check average of $40 or $50, you're doing okay. How many of those tables can you actually service in an hour? If you're at a busy restaurant, probably 2 or 3, maybe 4. So working on that check average, that's $20 for those 4 tables, $50 check average, 10% tip, plus your wage. Tlaib knows nothing about tip income workers. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, speaking of the latest talking points from the squad, the tight-knit squad of freshman progressive lawmakers has started to adopt curious new talking points, specifically defending Israel boycotts by likening them to boycotts against Nazi Germany. Rashida Tlaib was the latest to make this comparison, speaking on the House floor in opposition to bipartisan resolution against the movement known as boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israel. The right to boycott is deeply rooted in the fabric of this country, said Tlaib, the daughter of Palestinian immigrants, before noting Americans boycotted Nazi Germany in response to dehumanization, imprisonment, and genocide of the Jewish people. Does she honestly believe that by decrying the inhuman and believe it or not, just plain crimes against humanity that Nazis committed against the Jewish people, is she really thinking that we're going to forget that she's a Palestinian? An avowed Palestinian? It's really simple. I mean, let me ask you a question, Ms. Congresswoman. If you were in a position where you were, say, for example, defeated in a public debate, would you fire a rocket at the opposition politician's house? By the way, House Democrats decided that the BDS policy, the boycott, divestment, and sanction policy, would not get any kind of reading in the House of Representatives. They pulled the Israel resolution amid an internal clash. Yeah, it was something like 230 to 4. Yeah, that's a clash all right. Absolute ridiculous, stupid dumbness. Oh, my goodness gracious. Can we even afford a Democrat president? I don't think so. Why do I ask this question? Well, I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. There is a presidential candidate out there who wants to spend $10 trillion. What does she want to spend it on? I'll tell you next. This is the Wells Report.
It is a horrible scenario, but it happens. Dennis writes about his wife. She was diagnosed with leukemia. In fact, she's a 2-time survivor. And in the midst of all that, they ran up over $1 million in medical bills. Thankfully, they're Medi-Share members. And Dennis says they are so thankful for that, how others came together to meet their needs. And that's how so many Medi-Share members feel. This is not health insurance. It's different. You don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And like Dennis found out, it just works. So if you join Medi-Share, not only do you save a lot of money, the typical family saves about $500 a month, but you know where your money's going each month. You're helping people, and if the time should come, they'll be helping and even praying for you. So yes, it's different, and as more than 400,000 people now know when it comes to healthcare costs, different is beautiful. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Do you wish you could get better sleep and maybe lose a few pounds? Maybe more than a few pounds? Well, there's this product called Calitrin that helps with both sleep and weight loss. Just listen to what people are saying about it.
I've been taking Calitrim for right about 3 months, and I've lost 24 pounds and 19 overall inches. But my sleep has improved. I have so much more energy, and I have the desire to succeed more than ever. Anyone who needs weight loss, more energy, and better sleep, this product really does deliver.
I'm Roger. Over the 3 months that I took the product, my sleeping habits are increasingly much better. I got a better night's sleep, and I just can't say enough about the product and how it makes you feel. Also, additionally lost a little bit of weight on the program as well.
Hi, this is Erin, and I take Calitrin for weight loss, and I've lost about 20 pounds, and I feel great.
Calitrin is scientifically proven to help with sleep and weight loss safely and effectively. Check it out at toploss.com. That's toploss.com.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and 3-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-985-1813 now, and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you a copy of The #1 Mistakes Retirees Are Making with Their Investments Today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-985-1813 now. Again, that's 800-985-1813. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
You guys have a great product, and I tell my friends about it, and I was actually talking to a guy the other day who I just met, and he takes them. So you put out a great product, and I want to thank you and your organization.
I just started using it, and my family's already seen the difference. And I have health issues. I have fibromyalgia, asthma, but all of a sudden everything's clearing up, and I'm feeling better, and my skin's better. My brother said I look 10 years younger already.
Wow. Okay.
My vision is clearer. I already see the difference. People are seeing the difference, and my doctor's seeing the difference.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, you can receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code USA.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is John David Wells. Telephone number 844-RADIO-US, 844-723-4687. See, what is the current temperature of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas? It's terribly and horrifyingly, awfully, terribly perfect here. It's 88 degrees outside. 88 degrees. Obviously, the entire world is burning up. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand outlined what her administration would do to fight climate change. Her proposal measures up with many of her 2020 rivals, although she differs in key areas on how to address rising emissions. Gillibrand, like so many other candidates, wants to neutralize nationwide carbon emissions by 2050. You do realize that people are made out of carbon, right? She's also set a nearer target date to achieve net zero electricity emissions within a decade. Her plan would tax and phase out fossil fuels while tightening regulations. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to leave all that coal and oil and natural gas. We're just going to leave it alone. We're just going to walk away from it. Yeah, we're going to use sunlight and wind. Sure we will. Well, how about nuclear power? Oh, no, we can't use nuclear power. No. No, we have to use something that is, well, certainly destined to be ineffective. Exactly. She wants to close the Halliburton loophole. That would exempt fracking operations from drinking water standards It would require help from Congress. She does know that the fracking that she's talking about occurs thousands upon thousands upon thousands of feet below the water table, right? Oh, wait. No, she doesn't know that. Why doesn't she know that? Well, it's because she's a politician of the left who wants to bankrupt the country for political effect. Not a good plan. By the way, in case you're wondering, how much will all this cost? That's right, $10 trillion in public and private financing over the decade. At least $3 trillion of that sum would come from the federal government, raised through, you guessed it, new taxes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's horrific. Unbelievably. It's so idiotic. It's hard to really wrap your mind around. Bipartisanship may be going out of style, but at least one issue continues to unite Republicans and Democrats: licensing reform. Democrat presidential candidate and venture capitalist Andrew Yang, who is running on the platform centered around a universal basic income, has just released his plan to chip away at licensing requirements in order to get America moving again. Mobility is an important source of economic dynamism, and yet it's hampered in many parts of the country by onerous regulations. According to Garrett Watson, Special Projects Manager at the Tax Foundation, 22.2% of Americans moved in 1948. That fell to an all-time low in 2015-2016, when just 11.2% packed their bags. However, what he wants to do is he wants to make it absolutely essential that occupational licensing cross state lines. Yeah, that way if you were, say, for example, a licensed practical nurse in Mississippi, you could go and be a licensed practical nurse anywhere in the country. No, this is not the Federal Republic of America. These are the United States of America. We all get to live in states that do things differently. Just so you know. By the way, remember that Antifa violence in the city of Portland? Oregon Mayor Ted Wheeler has come up with a fantastic solution to the problems in his city. Hey, it's not my fault. I wasn't even there when all those people were beaten up by Antifa. Yeah, that's a guy with a political future. Not. This is the Wells Report.
There's no question you need omega-3s. But which form should you take? Fish oil or krill oil? Scientists have debated this for years. Luckily, there's a new solution to satisfy everyone. It's called Krill Omega 50 Plus. It combines ultra-pure fish oil and joint-soothing krill oil together in just one tiny pill. It's so powerful, it can promote the health of your heart and your arteries. And if that wasn't enough, it can also boost your joint comfort in just days. We're so sure Krill Omega 50 Plus will work for you. We'll even send you a free bottle to put to the test. The debate is over. It's not fish oil or krill oil. It's both. And now it's free. Just pay $4.95 for shipping and claim your free bottle. Call now. 1-800-399-6392. 1-800-399-6392. That's 1-800-399-6392.